Morning guys, today we're going to go over the most evil gods in Smite because, the story's progressing quite a bit, and as Hera is going to be considered a protagonist, or rather the protagonist of the story, I figured we may as well go over some potential candidates for the most bad, or gods who could fill the role as villain of the story, main villain of the story. And first up is...
Your soul is mine.
Now, I know some of you are going to say, Prime, you've talked about how much Thanatos isn't an evil god in the past, and you've talked about how he's actually more on the lines of neutral, but in Smite, they actually tweak him a bit, and he genuinely reaps souls. He's got that sort of theme going on with his character, and he does it for more malicious reasons than just to help people pass on to the next sort of life or realm of existence. In Smite, he genuinely reaps souls to enjoy it, have fun with it, kill people, or gods, just to kill gods. I don't know if there's a deeper reason behind that, but he enjoys it, and that's a good enough reason for me to put him here. And along a similar vein, we have
Run!
But for a slightly different reason. See, Apwash terrified the hell out of people, and he didn't need to do this. It wasn't like his job description required him to scare the ever-living daylights out of people and leave them with a nice, thick puddle of their own making around their ankles, but he did it anyway. And that was before they might have died, or he might have actually taken them to Xibalba. Once they were in Xibalba, he'd run them through different trials and what were to him just games with the other lords of Xibalba, and had a lot of fun. So yes, that does include Camazotz. So I suppose this is Apwash's place, but I guess I'm mentioning Camazotz as well because he's a lord of Xibalba, right? And then we have... Daji was more or less created to be a being of evil and torture and pain. That was her purpose, but that doesn't take away the fact that she is those things very much. She's responsible for creating a number of torture devices and methods just because she was bored and that was what she did for entertainment. She watched people get tortured, executed, punished for crimes, and some of the things that people could be punished for were made up just so that more people could be punished. So yeah, she's a bit of a bitch. Yes, she's a bitch. Now, not only that, but she was a concubine for a king. And so the extent of her power and reach over the people's lives was quite immense. She corrupted an entire king who ruined the lives of several people. Well, who ruined the lives of a lot of people. Again, just for her own personal amusement, and all she had to do was make the king happy, which she clearly did because the king did this for so long that people revolted and ended his dynasty. So it goes without saying that she could definitely fill the role of villain. And Daji manipulating things behind the scenes, being Hera's true enemy, could be pretty interesting to see, especially if she pulls off some nasty stuff. If she will be the true mastermind behind all of this, even manipulating Hades, I'd like for her to have done some pretty nasty things besides that. Ahead of all of those beings is Chernobog, because it takes a being as powerful as the incarnation of light and goodness itself to combat him every day. Anything under that level of power is either manipulated by Chernobog or succumbs to his power in some way or another. In fact, all of us, in some way or another, any time we experience anger, envy, or any other negative emotions, we're more or less being manipulated, or we're feeling these things thanks to Chernobog's influence over us. That's not a fun thought. He might enjoy doing these things to us, but regardless of whether Chernobog enjoys doing these things to people or not, it's his natural state. He was born to be the ultimate representation of pain and negativity. So he's the ultimate edgelord, essentially, even edgier than all the previous gods we've talked about. And as far as the Smite story goes, he has to be taken down a peg by Bellona. All of the things that were working in motion, you could argue they're on Chernobog, except more things are still in motion, and Chernobog's been defeated as far as we know, or perhaps maybe he hasn't been truly defeated yet. Maybe Chernobog will become another mastermind again, but then he's already had his time in the spotlight, so I don't think Hyres is going to, pull him out again. At least he probably won't get as much attention as he had a few months ago. There is another god who we've had a hell of a lot more screen time with, and has done some pretty heinous stuff, and that's none other than Ares. Now bear with me here, because Ares has done quite a lot of questionable things, and it won't take you too long to dig through the story that Hyres has put out to realize why he's here. So, to avenge his father's youth that was murdered, he starts a war with the Egyptian pantheon, wins, takes their city, and leaves it, defeated. And after dragging on her, his body, I don't know if it's his lifeless corpse, if he kills him on the battlefield and then drags him before Ra, or if if Anhur was still alive somehow and then he killed him barbarically afterwards. But, he brings Anhur before Ra just to show him that, yes, you've lost. And Ra doesn't really put up much of a fight against Ares, so he kind of beats the crap out of Ra, and then destroys the eyes of Ra, which quite possibly means that he ends up murdering Bastet and any other future eyes of Ra, including perhaps Hathor and Sekhmet that Hi-Rez might include in the game. So if they ever are put in the game, then Ares killed them. Sorry if you're fans of those gods. If it sounds like I'm enjoying that too much, it's just because the panels in which Ra gets the crap beating out of him, Ra just kind of looks silly. I don't know what it is about Ra's design, but he just looks so goofy. Now, whilst the murder of Anhur can be somewhat justified because of the fact that, well, he believes the Egyptian pantheon as a whole is responsible for the murder of his father, and so taking out Anhur and removing Ra's eyes, his sort of power, is sort of justified, I suppose, from Ares' stance. But this does throw the entire city of Egypt, so, innocent mortals who he could easily have turned into worshippers for himself, he sort of just punishes them as well, so that's a bit of a dick move. And then he goes over to the Mayan part of the world, kills Chuck because Chuck healed Anubis, and then takes his axe and takes Chuck's worshippers, essentially. So that was a greedy, dickish power move. Then he strolls over to Izanami, puts her on a leash, makes a deal with her. So Hebo kind of has a sucky life after he crosses paths with Ares. And because of the fact that Hebo's sort of lives are ruined, like the mortals that worship him, eventually they're going to die, and Ares doesn't seem to care about that. Ruin the lives of Hebo's worshippers by making sure that they can't have their water supply. So, that's more or less indirectly killing people. Even if it was thanks to Izanami that this even happened in the first place, he still allowed it to happen. And Izanami begins to corrupt him a little bit more and turn him a bit more, cold and, dare I say, evil. Then he goes along and Izanami burns down Ganesh's temple. Ares doesn't stop her. Ares doesn't even try to care at all, and then murders Anubis. And then he lets Izanami free, and Izanami is essentially a mass murderer. She kills people in the thousands every day, which is probably the reason why she was bound. Ares doesn't give a crap, he just frees her just to free her because of whatever, it was part of his arrangement, and I guess he's not too much of a douche that he doesn't honor his arrangements, but that was a bad arrangement to make in the first place. So, frees Izanami, and she no doubt contributes to Ragnarok and murders people in the thousands every day just to spite Izanagi. So I suppose Izanagi exists in the Smite world then, because Izanami exists? But the point is, Ares didn't care about any of the consequences of anything that he did. He sort of did them just to avenge his father, and then sort of disappears from the story. Like, what exactly happens to Ares? Is he defeated by the forces of Hades, or does Athena sort of put him in his place, and what actually happens to Ares? Or is he just sitting on the sidelines, sort of waiting for his chance to take the throne of Greece or something? Because, Hera's left the throne right now, so I guess now would probably be the perfect time for Ares to sort of take over and do Ares things. But the point is, Ares is a lot more dark, edgy, and perhaps even evil than you might think. So, yeah, even more evil than Daji, purely because we don't actually know if Daji's done all that much, or what specifically Daji has done in the story, I guess. But that was the video. What do you think? Do you think there's an even more evil, manipulative, crazy strong, or just outright dangerous god that definitely takes the cake in terms of evil gods, that definitely deserves a mention over any of the gods that I mentioned on the list? Go ahead and tell me in the comment section below. And how would your list go? Who are your top 5 most evil gods that are in Smite? Let me know in the comments below, and of course, if you're new to the channel and want to see more content like this, best way to join the community is to subscribe, and of course leave a like on the video. That really does help. And until the next video, have a very good day. I have been Prime. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.